The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. Understanding lung disease on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the Kernersville Auto Museum. You got to come out and see this place. We'll tell you more about it later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up. We'll get into all sorts of controversial topics with those guys. Between now and then, some great topics and guests, and I want you to meet them, so stay with us. But where we want to start is having a conversation with a very distinguished gentleman, the president and CEO of Randolph Community College, Dr. Shah Ardalan. Good to see you again, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks
Good to be here.
Thanks for being here. First question, under your leadership, Randolph Community College has once again been named the top community college in North Carolina. How does that correlate with your mission? What is the mission?
Well, for us, the mission is to serve this community. The last presentation I made was, if it matters to Randolph, it matters to Randolph Community College. So for us is to train the workforce to get those who wants to advance in their lives an opportunity to. If they want to go to universities, we do it. If they want to get the job, that's our work to make them there.
Absolutely. Now, I know you established when you got there a 2-year strategic plan. We won't go into all the details, except I want to ask you, can you name maybe a success that you can point to over the first year?
Well, the first year was great, of course, getting the plan up to the scale. Also, hiring the entire cabinet team has been a challenge, but now we have all the vice presidents in place with the great mission and vision that they're going to implement. Also, we're expanding as far as locations. We're going to be opening a location in downtown Asheboro, which is going to help everybody who wants to come to us. Also, we have a mobile unit that's going to go to every corner of the county. We're going to take the college to them.
Now, is the help me on this? Is the Asheboro Center, is that the new center you're building, or is that we've been talking?
It's a location is there. So for now, we're leasing a place to make sure that whoever wants to come to us has an opportunity.
What are the biggest challenges facing the local workforce, and what's the college doing to meet those challenges, do you think?
So, you know, one of the facts that North Carolina has been ranked #1 in the country to do business with is because of the workforce, and I believe because of the 58 community colleges that we have in this great state. Same goes for Randolph County. You know, people and companies are moving here, so it's our job to train them. We have trained thousands of people for Toyota, without forgetting about the small air conditioning shop and everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's our job, to train people. With the announcement of Jet Zero, you know, over 14,000 people coming. That's a blessing and a challenge at the same time. So.
But they're coming because they had faith, not to brag on you too much, but they're coming because they had faith in knowing that you were going to help prepare the people they needed.
Yes, sir. We'll take care of them.
Yeah.
We take care of them.
On a completely different topic, you emailed me something one day. Let me see if I got this straight. There's a tree lighting.
Yes.
Is that next month? What's that about?
Yes, sir. We wanted to open the college to the community. We are this community's college. So on December 2nd, we're going to have an official tree lighting. A huge tree will be lit, and there will be cookies, candies, Santa, and everybody. So we're inviting the whole community to come and celebrate with us. It was a big success last year. This year is going to be bigger and better.
I want to ask you a personal question. Well, we have about a minute left. What's gratifying to you about what you've been able to do at the college so far?
People who get in my business is that they're in the business of changing lives. Each time I shake hands with the students that walks across the stage, that's what makes my day. And also the stories that we hear, the single mom that had no other place to go or nothing else, and we changed their lives. That person who was laid off through a Zoom meeting, that came to us, and we made sure that he found a job that can support himself and his family.
That's just great. I just appreciate what you're doing. Up on screen, randolph.edu is the general website, lots of portals you can take through there to find out more information. Dr. Arlan, thanks for all you're doing, and don't be a stranger.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
I am so
Why
frustrated.
can no one help me?
Waiting is the worst. I think it's healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
North Carolina's economy is growing, bringing new businesses and opportunities. The need for electricity is growing too. At Duke Energy, we're meeting the challenge, providing even more electricity that's cleaner, reliable, and that stays affordable. We're getting out of coal and reinvesting in our communities with a diverse, balanced mix of energy sources and making targeted upgrades to the grid so that North Carolina can thrive in a smarter energy future.
Back now on Triad Today, we welcome back to the show Dr. Garrett Sherwood. He's a medical oncologist with Novant Health Cancer Institute for Sight. Good to see you again, Doc.
Yeah, you as well, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. How common is lung disease? Let's start from there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's quite common. Lung disease affects lots of different people, including those who have smoked, but also those with certain occupations where they're exposed to particulate matter, asbestos, et cetera, can develop chronic lung disease.
Oh, yeah. Now, would lung disease people be more susceptible if they're older, like me, or if they're a certain ethnicity, or men versus women? Does it break out like that, or does it matter?
Age is an important risk factor in lung disease, but not necessarily a predilection for gender or ethnicity.
What about the warning signs that we can look for? Now, obviously, if somebody is a lifetime smoker, I don't know anything about this, well, except I did live with a smoker who died with COPD. But, of course, a lot of the coughing and things going on. But in general, for lung disease, what could we look for to say, hey, we need to get some help?
Yeah, I think that's important, and it can be tricky because the symptoms of lung cancer can be very subtle, and they can be mistaken for more common illnesses, whether it's pneumonia, a COPD exacerbation, et cetera. I always counsel patients that they need to advocate for themselves and know what's normal for them and what's not normal. You know, if a physician sees 20 patients that are coughing, it can be hard for them to tease out which one has a concerning sign or symptom. A cough that lasts longer than normal, feels different than normal, certainly any cough where there's blood mixed in with what comes up, or someone that's losing weight while coughing would be some important warning signs.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Now, is it true that, and you sort of hit on this a couple minutes ago, is it true that people who've never smoked at all can get lung cancer?
Unfortunately, yes, it is true, and that's a group of people that we want to understand more about in terms of what's the risk factors for those patients and how they get lung cancer, because those cancers are often quite different than the tumors we see in those who smoke.
I think, and we've talked about this before on the show, but I think a lot of people would be surprised to know that there is such a thing as lung screening.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's true, but it's not because it's new. Lung screening has been around since 2013, but compared to mammography, colon cancer screening, the rate of patients being screened for lung cancer is unfortunately around the 10% range.
Right. Now, I mean, who should be screened for that?
Yeah, thankfully it's gotten simpler. If you're between the ages of 50 and 80 and you've smoked for 20 pack years, which is an average of 1 pack a day for 20 years, you qualify for lung cancer screening.
Doc, what kind of treatments are available for lung disease in general?
Yeah, that's probably the best news, is that the treatment for lung cancer has gotten dramatically better, particularly in the last decade. So across the different stages of the disease, we're seeing people live longer and live better than they ever have before.
Anything that you might message you want to leave with people about lung disease in general, if you had to leave one bit of information with the audience?
Sure. I think we need to break down the stigma associated with smoking and lung cancer. This is a disease that's preventable, it's a disease that's treatable, and we want patients to advocate for themselves and their family members to get screened if you're someone that qualifies, or if you have symptoms that worry you, don't be afraid to push back on your physician and say, do I need more testing? Is cancer something I need to be worried about?
Us guys are more reticent to go have stuff checked than women, though. Isn't that kind of true, or am I making a generalization?
No, 100%. Normally the spouse is the one that will say, he's not telling you the whole story. You know, this has been going on for, longer. It's more severe than he's letting on.
I know. I was fibbing to my cardiologist one day, and Pam was in the room there, and she said, hey, she sort of, it was a gut check on that. Very quickly, we talked about this before, but just remind folks, what led you into this field? I think it's interesting.
Yeah. My grandfather served in the military. He smoked for a short time, but then quit. He was diagnosed with lung cancer and unfortunately got sick very quickly. And I didn't really like the way the health system treated him compared to other patients with cancer. It seemed like it was implied that he had done this to himself, and I didn't feel like he got the same care that other cancer patients would have gotten.
Well, thank the Lord that you're doing what you're doing now and helping so many people. I appreciate that. Up on screen, Novant Health Cancer Institute for Sight. You can call 277-8800 for an appointment, and the general website is novanthealth.org. Once again, Dr. Garrett Sherwood, I really appreciate all that you do for folks and for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire.
The world's brightest are Fulbrights, Goldwaters, McNairs, and Spartans. UNCG. Find your way here.
Back now on Triad Today, we welcome back a very special guest who does so much for the community, Captain James Ray with the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you as well. Thank you for having me.
You emailed me something about the Invictus Project. What is that?
So the Invictus Task Force was started as a nonprofit to partner with law enforcement to combat the crimes against children, the sexual, the people that are going after the crimes, trying to exploit children sexually, and all kinds of things.
Using the internet.
Using all types of methods, but the internet is a primary one.
One of them. Mm-hmm. Now, how widespread is this? How serious is this? I know it's serious when a child is taken advantage of, but how common is a problem is this? How widespread of a problem is it?
They say that 1 in 5 children will be attempted to be exploited using the internet these days.
Give me an example of a way a kid is targeted.
They're just playing video games, they're on social media, and a person just starts chatting with them and finds a weakness, a vulnerability in that child, and begins to exploit that by trying to groom them, become friends with them, offer them gifts, things like that, in turn of trying to get what they want from them down the road.
That's just horrible. Would you say in general that the internet, which is it's good for educational purposes, everything gets exploited for the wrong reasons, I guess, every invention you have. But is the internet generally safe, or should you just say to parents, hey, just don't give them access to it, or what?
I think like everything else right now, you have to watch and converse with your kids about what they're doing. Pay attention to what they're looking at, what games they're playing, what sites they're on, and have conversations with them about those sites. Allow them to explain them to you, and just monitor their behavior while they're on these devices. Don't just let them go lock themselves in their room and play on devices and hide themselves.
That's a good point. And let's hope that parents don't just let kids have free reign with the internet, but let's say they do, or let's say they just check on them occasionally, hey, dinner's ready or whatever. What would a parent be able to notice that's going on that might be a red flag to them?
Notice they're changing their behavior. They're more secretive, or when you walk in the room, maybe they hide their device under their blankets or their covers, or put them in drawers, or they turn their monitors off. Things like that. Stop playing the games, and just their attitudes change while they're playing the games, because they don't want you to see them being vulnerable.
In that kind of a case, is it best for the parent to say, hey, let's open this back up and see what's going on?
Right, just have a conversation with them. You are the best judge of your child's character and what they're doing, their activities on a daily basis. You see them more than anybody else. Just have that communication with them.
Captain, what's a cyber tip, and how can individuals send a cyber tip in?
So a cyber tip comes in through Facebook, Instagram, social media platforms, as well as parents who recognize things on the internet that they don't like or they believe that this is beginning to be the exploitation of a child, whether it's theirs or somebody else's, and they can report it to reports.cybertip.org.
I know this is a personal question, but if you had your way, would you, if you were just talking to a group of parents, would you advise them just to let the kids go out and play more and spend less time on the internet, or what?
I would. I think you can grow up more outside experiencing the world around you than sitting in your room and playing on a device. I am biased because of my age and growing up, going outside, playing, and being gone riding bikes and doing those things. And I know that we're in a different time and place right now, but that experience really helped me grow and not be so focused on gaming and other things that I see kids are doing today.
Absolutely. Just a few seconds left, and you and I've talked about this before, but overall, what gratification do you get personally from doing the job that you're doing?
We help people every day, and that's the greatest thing we can do for society and for the world, is just help people. It's so important and so invigorating to just help one person, and it just grows every day.
And get out in front of these things. And what we've been talking about just now is a preventative rather than a, sorry it happened. And
correct. The education part of the task force is one of the most important parts, not just about putting people in jail and holding them accountable, but the education for parents.
Absolutely. Up on screen, GoFCSONC, that's for the Sheriff's Office, .org. Check that out. And also on screen, the invictusproject.org/taskforce. Please do that. Captain James Ray, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
We'll be right back.
I got free meals. What do you mean? No, seriously, how much did you pay us? I didn't pay anything. I learned how to cook all of these fresh foods that were delivered to my house. Everything in that grocery bag that's fresh, I had a recipe for, and I know how to cook. It encouraged us to eat better, to shop better, make better decisions.
Back now on Triad Today, two very special guests with me right now. On my immediate right, Tamara Ziegler. She's Director of Corporate Engagement for North Carolina A&T State University. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
And Hank Henning, our good buddy who's with us a lot on this show. He's Manager of Local Government Community Relations for Duke Energy. Thank you for bringing Tamara here today so we could see her lovely countenance. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absoltly.
Hank, let me start with you, because kind of exciting things going on that the two of you have been involved with. I understand Duke Energy's recently made, I think, correct me, two different grants to A&T. Talk about those and how the grant sort of involved Tamara.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having us. So the two grants that we've had, one is an ongoing relationship and partnership we've had with the university for almost 10 years now. That's the HOME grant, the Helping Orient Minorities to Engineering. And we've long appreciated our partnership with them. And I wanted to invite Tamara back on the show with us because there was another exciting sponsorship that we did, but I wanted to bring her on to talk about that as well.
Absolutely.
Right. And there's another one I want to ask you about, which is kind of appropriate to this setting we're in here with the cars. Remind us what the acronym HOME, H-O-M-E, stands for and what it's all about and why it's important.
So again, thank you so much for having us. HOME stands for Helping Orient and Mentor Engineers. And again, as Hank mentioned, the Duke Energy Foundation has been a partner now for almost 10 years. And we cannot do what we do without their support and partnership. Yeah.
In sustaining that program, how long has this been running? I know that Hank said his involvement went, what did you say, 10 years or something? Now, do you predate that or what?
Absolutely. HOME predates that, and we are celebrating our 22nd year of HOME, where we bring in the incoming class of engineers and computer scientists and help mentor and orient them to what it's going to take to earn this degree in engineering or computer science.
And how important, even more important nowadays with all the industries coming in that are going to require, you know, these kind of jobs. And I just think it's great you're getting them ready that way and exposing them to this. All right, tell me about the race team. You have the racing team, and I believe one of the grants went to help that. What's that all about?
So the College of Science and Technology has what's called the Blue and Gold Racing Team. They are in the process of building their first electric racing car. And when we presented this to the Duke Energy Foundation, they were gracious enough to support the initiative in our fundraising efforts. And what was even more exciting was that Kendall Bowman, president of Duke Energy North Carolina, surprised the team with the check. Hank came. This was earlier in the month.
Yeah. I just think that's neat. And are there places where we can see them experiment with the cars, or will that be in the future where we can see them drive around and do
Absolutely.
things?
We will. So the racetrack will be made public and available. And so once the car is up and running and competing, we will absolutely let everyone know.
Maybe they can just drive right through here.
This would be an appropriate place, yes.
Hank, now the mission of these programs that we're just talking about, that's sort of in line with your overall mission, Duke Energy and the Duke Energy Foundation, especially in developing minority talent, supporting EVs, the whole thing. Sort of wrap it up for us.
Well, you hit the nail on the head already, which is with the industry expanding, and we're going to need engineers way into the future, and we don't have enough. And A&T has such a fantastic engineering school. It's an easy partnership. But I also do want to just say how much we appreciate them hosting myself and our state president for North Carolina, Kendall Bowman, and it was so exciting to present that check to the students to help them out with their first race car.
Absolutely. I think that's great. Up on screen, Duke, were you going to say something? I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, not at all.
I thought you were going to tell me how young I look. All right, up on screen, duke-energy.com. Duke-energy.com is the general website that you can go to with lots of different portals. And I just hope you'll come back and keep us posted on all the programs. Especially I want to hear more about the EV team.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
All right. We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making health care better for all. Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable, but a quick shout out to the good folks here at Kernersville Auto Museum. You've got to see this place. Lots of history, lots of cars. You can get in here free Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Look around. Do that. You can look around at us too right now if you can stand it. On my right, but always political left, Ogie Overman, and filling in for Keith is Dave Briggs, Mr. Theater. And of course, Bob Shackelford, former president of Randolph Community College. Those last two guys have their own consulting businesses. We might just have to have them tell what they do sometime. Is it legal, what you guys do?
I believe so.
Okay. All right, first topic. If the government shutdown continues, 42 million families will not receive money from the food stamp program, even though the president has $68 billion in contingency funds for emergencies. Guys, should a law be passed that requires federal contingency funds to be used to pay for food stamps? Ogie.
I could be wrong, but I think the law is already passed. I think he's breaking the law already, just indiscriminately. Just not releasing those funds is against the law already.
Congress did approve that. However, the Democrats have got to come to the table, get this clean CR passed. They're the ones that are holding the country hostage.
And only then they would release it all after that? All right, Bob.
If you can raise $300 million for your White House reconstruction and send $40 billion to Argentina, you can feed the hungry children in America.
Yeah, and of course, just as a disclaimer, we're taping the show on Wednesday, October 29th, and hopefully this thing will be over by the time it airs. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Hope so.
All right, guys, the latest poll shows that former Democrat Governor Roy Cooper has a higher favorability rating than Michael Whatley, who is the former GOP chairman nationwide and statewide. He's a presumptive GOP nominee. They're running for U.S. Senate to replace Tom Tillis. Guys, in general, do favorability ratings even matter a year before an election? And number two, who wins this?
Well, it does give you an idea on who the favorite's going to be, and they usually stay pretty consistent throughout. And I think and pray that Roy Cooper will win.
Ms. Briggs.
I think it's more about recognition at this point. Whatley doesn't have the name recognition, but I hope folks remember what Cooper did during COVID to shut us down and what he didn't do for the Helene people.
All right, Bob.
I think it has more to do with why he has the favorability, and that is some proven leadership. I think he has the inside track.
Okay. Earlier this year, a 22-year-old North Carolina woman was murdered by a man who was on probation for already having been convicted of 25 felonies. Some high-profile celebrities are suggesting that judges in cases like these should be charged as an accessory to murder. It's pretty extreme, but that's what they're protesting about. Do you think judges should be held accountable for heinous crimes committed by convicted felons who they've set out on probation? Ogie.
No, that's carrying it a little bit too far. I don't know exactly what you can do, but to punish a judge, I can't see that.
All right, Dave.
I agree with Ogie on that. That's taking it to an extreme, but there does have to be some recognition of the deed.
I don't think you can make the judge a co-conspirator, but if they preside over obvious malpractice of justice, they can be removed from the bench.
Last month, a female park ranger at Yosemite National Park was fired because she draped a transgender pride flag on the side of a mountain in the park. Park officials said the ranger was fired for, quote, failure to demonstrate acceptable conduct. Quickly, guys, you okay with his firing, Ogie?
No, I don't know what's unacceptable about that. I mean, I don't know what the rules are, but I'm perfectly fine with it.
I suspect that as a government employee, she signed a document that said that she can't be political on the job. If I did that at the High Point Theater, they would have called me on the carpet and I could have been dismissed.
Yeah, a big draped thing that says that I hate Dave Briggs.
That's it.
And they would have taken that down. Bob, what do you think?
Well, to Ogie's point, there wasn't a rule until the day after this event, and the rule is that you can't have a flag or a sign bigger than 15 square feet, but bigger than 15 feet. But there wasn't a rule at the time, so maybe a fine, maybe a...
But not firing.
Not firing.
All right, a new study shows that less than 30% of K through 12 students read even a single book outside of school. Guys, is this yet another reason for an argument, making the argument for having year-round school? Ogie.
I don't think so, Jim. I think I remember when I was at Jamestown, the Jamestown Library had a summer reading program, and I think Carol Andrews was involved in it, I think. But it was really a success, and they had some way to incentivize it, make it kind of a contest. Right. And I can't remember what the incentive was, but it did work.
Year-round school, Dave?
I don't think so. I would like to see parents be more involved in reading to their children, and that will encourage them to read on their own.
Bob?
I think 30% don't even read a book during school.
Probably.
And I really think the summers off is a kickback to the days of agriculture. The kids had to work on the farm. There are reasons to go year-round, but to make them read books is not one of them.
All right, and finally, guys, the latest trend in dating is called throning. That's when you only date someone in order to improve your social status. Guys, have you ever dated someone in order to improve your social status? Ogie.
Well, I hate to say, one time, I didn't realize it at the time, but I dated this girl in college who was way above, and she was, and she ended up being second runner-up in Miss North Carolina pageant.
Dave.
No, but I did marry way over my head.
Yeah, me too.
Well, of course I have. I always felt that it's a sorry man that can't marry up.
Well, that's all the time we have, well, except for this, and this is a true story. In Japan, scientists are now doing clinical trials to discover if humans can breathe through their rectum in an emergency.
Oh.
And I thought butt dialing was weird. For all of us here on Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.